More breaking news. We've just learned the Hurricane Maria, Category 5, has just made landfall on Dominica. A prime minister posting to his Facebook page, "My roof is gone. I am at the complete mercy of the hurricane. House is flooding." A short time later, an update, "I have been rescued." I want to get the latest now from meteorologist Allison Chinchar in the CNN Weather Center. So where is the storm? What's the latest tonight?
Right. So again, as you mentioned, it has now officially made landfall at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time as a Category 5 storm. Winds 160 miles per hour. The storm is moving west-northwest at about 9 miles per hour, so not very fast, which unfortunately means it's just going to go slowly over the island of Dominica. But we need to talk about how impressive this storm actually is and how quickly it intensified, okay? This is Sunday at 5 p.m. Winds were just at 75 miles per hour, so this is when it first became a hurricane, okay? So going at 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. tonight, going from a tropical storm all the way up to a Category 5 storm. Or even this morning, take, for example, 5 a.m., it was still a Category 1 storm. 5 a.m. to 8 p.m., going from a Category 1 to a Category 5 storm. The unfortunate part about it being a Category 5 storm is it is expected to stay a Category 5 storm. In fact, it's expected to increase up to 165 miles per hour after it gets back out over some open water. It is expected to make landfall on Puerto Rico as a Category 5 storm. Now, the question is whether or not it maintains that 165 mile per hour range or if it weakens slightly just before it hits Puerto Rico. That's important. That distinction is because the previous Category 5 storm, and there's only been one to ever hit Puerto Rico, that was back in 1928, but it had winds of 160. So if it can maintain winds of 165, it will end up being the strongest storm to ever hit the island of Puerto Rico. The last time they had a Category 4 was back in 1932. That was the last direct strike of a Category 4 or higher. Again, this is going to be an incredibly strong storm as it continues on this track, Anderson.
And any sense of what this means for the U.S.?
Right, so there's been a lot of comparisons to Irma with this storm as it goes through the Caribbean. So here's what we can show you. This yellow line right here, that was Irma's path. The red line is Maria. So you can note it's starting out a little bit further south. It will cross over a very similar point near the Dominican Republic, and then it's actually going to go a little bit further north than Irma's path was. So at this point, everybody wants to know, what does that mean for Florida and some of the other areas that were impacted by Irma? Here's a look at the model comparison. Very good agreement up to the point of Puerto Rico. It's after that that the models split off, and they have a pretty good distance between the two of them. The blue dot is the European model. The red dot is the GFS, also known as the American. You can see it kind of pushes it a little bit closer to the U.S. It's all because of this high. Where that high pressure system ends up, if it stays in place, Anderson, it will spin clockwise and stay in the Atlantic. If it goes to the west, it would actually push Maria into the States.
Allison Chinchar.